New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Eric Holder, the man who murdered Nipsey Hussle, has pleaded not guilty. He also was charged by the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. Now, according to reports, Chris Darden, the prosecutor in the O.J. Simpson's double murder case, will be representing him.
Huh? Oh, my God.
Which is weird.
Huh? I do not understand Chris Darden's move here.
Because I'm
Wait,
sure
so he
can't afford him.
volunteered to do this?
Yeah, I'm sure he can't afford him.
Well, I don't know. It's not a
Guys, it's because
he's not a defender. He's not a public defender. He's getting paid. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know. I think because it's a high profile case, he was like, let me just get in there.
But that's the high profile you would want. I mean, we're speculating. Maybe there's money somehow. But how did that dude,
know.
Eric Holder, have money?
It's weird.
Who's paying for this? Yeah, not to be presumptuous, but I believe the guy I saw who was the murderer of Nipsey Hussle didn't look like he was in a situation where like he'd have mad people to pay for this lawyer. And there's a video circulating on the internet where someone very close to Nipsey Hussle says he walked up to us and introduced himself as a rapper. He went and got his burger. I took my food inside. He went around the corner and came back shooting. And so, why are you if you got money? My point is, if you got money, you're just walking up introducing yourself as a rapper. But who knows what kind of money he had? For Christopher Darden, it feels like he has to have taken this for a reason. That's very strange. Why would you defend? Why would you want to? I mean, listen, everyone deserves defense as much as we may not like it. If we subscribe to the legal system, everyone deserves a lawyer. That doesn't mean you have to want to be that lawyer, though.
In more positive news, Congress member Karen Bass revealed that she'll be entering Nipsey Hussle's contributions to his community in the congressional records. Nipsey was an entrepreneur that worked heavy with his community, man. He helped employ locals. He gave back any way that he could. I mean, we've been talking about the amazing things that he did for his community. So many people that he loved. Well, Laura, you said earlier the reason Nipsey Hussle was there that day was because someone that he knew had just got out of jail, and he was helping him get some clothes because they had a spot like an essentials kind of spot next to the Marathon store. They had a spot that was just for like white tees, underwear, like just come get your essential socks, right? Type of store. And you were saying, Laura, that I read that
he was there getting his boy who just got out of jail
to help him out,
get him home, get him some clothes.
There was another post that I read. I saw TT Torres posted about just a woman who her husband was an electrician. Were you reading it? Basically,
I was looking for it. Yeah.
He said that he would always like talk about the store owner, right? How he always helped this community, like looked out for him, brought him water bottles and food when he was working in the street. He was always talking about how amazing this guy was, because usually someone like him, he's like, I get ignored all the time. Nobody cares about me. I'm an electrician working on the streets, on street lights and stuff like that. And that when Nipsey passed away, when Nipsey was murdered, that he came home crying and to speak to his wife, like, that's the store owner that I've been talking to you about this whole time.
Damn. Didn't even know it was Nipsey Hussle. It was just a guy.
Just a guy.
Who was really nice.
And he always used to tell his wife about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's really nice. Like, he always takes care of me. And then saw the papers and it's like, this is the guy who I always talk about.
There's another story. There's a burger spot next to the Marathon store. And it's the place where Nipsey's family used to go get burgers when they were kids. And the store owner never would put seats in the burger spot because he didn't want people hanging out. So they would only be able to stand and eat at the burger spot. And when Nipsey got enough money, that was the first place that he bought. So that the dude that owned the burger spot had to rent from him, and he put seats in the burger spot so people could sit down and eat.
That's dope. I mean, the amount of stories that's coming out on Nipsey Hussle and his legacy and the good that he's done, I think is the most amazing part of this whole story. You know what I mean? Throughout the tragedy, just to be able to see, like, there's a brother that come from the bottom that really is a good-hearted man.
Well, and everybody knew it who knew. If you're part of the world, you knew, but you might not have been talking about it with everybody else. And then you realize that everybody thought the same thing about him. Right. Like, wow.
The consistency
he really
of
was
his
doing
spirit.
That's who he was, and was doing it for a very, very long time. I didn't even realize how long he'd been I knew he'd been on it for a few years. I didn't realize that he mentally and intellectually had been on it forever, basically, until he built the money up to do it.
And if you watch old videos of like interviews when we had really short hair, was super young, he was always pushing ownership. He was always talking about getting the community together, financial literacy. He's like, we have to own. The only way we're ever gonna get ahead is like if we educate our, young brothers and sisters about ownership. Like, when you go back and see some of those videos, he always had that mentality, and he was always spreading that message.
He was a great dude, man.
Dope.
Yeah, man. The Jussie Smollett case continues, guys. So, the state attorney's office decided to drop the charges against Jussie, but the city of Chicago's deadline for Jussie to cough up that $130,000, which was the cost of the investigation, is today. So they haven't received any money.
So let me get this right.
So they want to officially file a civil suit against him.
Sounds like Chicago PD is embarrassed. If anybody else would have faked a crime like this, remember, Jussie Smollett, he had to forfeit his bond. He did community service. According to the Cook County courthouse and the lawyers there, anybody else who was a regular human being would have got a similar charge as Jussie Smollett. But because the Chicago PD was pissed because he said MAGA country and all this other stuff.
Well, and because they spent days, in theory, investigating it.
And because they spent days on a case that was dead end, basically, because it was made up potentially. And they couldn't prove to what degree it was made up to get him on 13 or 18 counts, whatever the number was.
13, I think.
Now they're going to spend more money and more time trying to chase down a few $100,000.
I don't
There's
understand.
This ain't just because someone lied about a case.
Yeah.
Y'all mad that the MAGA thing was a part of it. Mm-hmm. And you're mad that a black man had the connections to not be succumbed to what you wanted him to succumb to with the charges. Because the Cook County head lawyer is a black woman. And she was probably like, if this was anything else and you weren't a celebrity, this is what we would do.
Right. This isn't that serious.
But because Donald Trump tweeted about it.
But then someone needs to be able to tell Chicago PD, shut up, sorry, he's not paying you for it. It's money lost, just like on the other tons of investigations that are lost. And why wasn't anyone from Chicago PD this upset about when their own does something insane like kills Laquan McDonald on tape? No one has a press conference to talk about how terrible this is. But this is that terrible.
Yeah,
They spent a few days working on a case. And let's be honest. The reason you were working on the case so much in the first place is because you wanted the attention of it being high profile, dumbass.
Of course.
Then y'all ran around for 6 days being like, I'm going to be the guy who solves the Jussie Smollett caper. Turns out it was all a fraud anyway. He ended up getting off of it because the judge was like, this was stupid. Why'd we invest so much time in this? And now you were seeking attention. It blew up in your face. And now you're like, now you got to pay me money. Frankly, I'm honestly annoyed to even be talking about Jussie Smollett and the Chicago PD after spending time talking about Nipsey Hussle. Neither of them deserve my attention after us talking about Nipsey.
Salute King Nip.
Shout out to all the Dominicans. They will be very happy along with all Bachata fans today. Romeo Santos was trending. He dropped a new album called Utopia, but what makes this dope, it's an Aventura reunion, and he teamed up with all these legends in Bachata, which
That's
is
why it's
really
called Utopia.
dope.
It's the Utopia of Bachata.
It's really dope.
I can't wait to go 1, 2, 3, kick.
Cass, how major is this?
This is big time. Big talk. Big talk major.
Yo, between WrestleMania this weekend and the Aventura album, what am I going to do?
This weekend is going to be so lit.
I mean,
That's your Flash and Lights report.